Hi guys, before I start the video, if you guys want to see more stuff that's editing related or just anything about Sony Vegas or anything within that kind of field, please leave a like, leave a comment, and subscribe if you haven't already, and let me know what you guys want to see so I can make this kind of stuff in the future for you guys. And two, I'm going to be moving into school in a couple of weeks, so I'm going to be pretty busy and held up with that. So if you guys have anything you want me to work on, I will try and get on it as soon as possible, but I'm probably not going to be uploading next week just because I have a busy schedule. So thank you guys again. Let's get into the video. All right, hello guys, welcome back. So as you guys can probably see in the title, today we're going to be talking about the basics of Sony Vegas, covering how to install it and just navigating for a beginner. So for some of you, you might not know what Sony Vegas is, and I'm sure a lot of you guys have heard of it if you don't have it already and are curious to what it is. So let me explain. Sony Vegas is a very popular and very powerful video and audio editing software. It's what I use to edit all of my YouTube videos. It's what I've used for any school projects, anything within that sort. It is a very, very powerful YouTube and really any kind of video creating software. Like I said, it's an incredibly powerful software that really lets you do whatever you want to your videos. And for someone like me who really didn't know where to start when it came to editing or to really just creating content on YouTube, this was like the perfect software to me for letting me learn how to do that kind of stuff. Currently, there are also 18 different versions of the software, so I'm also going to go over which one you should probably get depending on your PC specs. So if you guys are looking for a software that's powerful and you guys have a reliable computer, I would suggest, if you guys think it's necessary, probably getting the most updated version of Sony Vegas, if not maybe the one previous to most. So when I first got Sony Vegas, it was probably around Sony Vegas 13 when I got it, around 5 years ago. And at that time I had it on a laptop and it wasn't anything special, but I was able to run it with very little issues. I would say if you're using a laptop or maybe like a mid-end PC or just any kind of system, I would say probably getting Sony Vegas 13 below would probably be where you want to go, just because Sony Vegas 13 and above sometimes uses a little bit more resources on your computer and it can make it kind of hard when you're trying to do multiple things at once. So I would say if you don't really think you have the strongest computer in the world, using anything around Sony Vegas 13 and lower should be perfect for you. Now, if you're someone who's looking to kind of up their game when it comes to editing and just include a little bit more into the software, I would say looking at probably the more recent software or maybe the version before the most recent, just because you should probably have no problems when it comes to running the software. I would just say make sure you have the recommended specifications. There's a little list I can link to you guys right now. And yeah, just make sure you guys double check to make sure everything is good to go, and we're gonna start talking about how to actually install Sony Vegas. All right, so I can really only think of 3 different ways you could possibly get Sony Vegas on either your computer or your laptop. So the first method to getting Sony Vegas would be getting the trial version off of Sony Vegas's website. I'm like 90% sure that Sony Vegas includes a trial for every single version of Vegas that's out right now. I believe they're all 30-day trials as well. I'm not quite sure if you can install plugins or really add anything more to Sony Vegas's trial. I would say if you're not sure about Sony Vegas yet, or you just want to give it a try and you're not really sure about fully installing it yet, I would say getting a trial would be the perfect way to just kind of touch base. Personally, I think this might be the best option for you too, just Sony Vegas, if you're looking into upping your editing game, but you don't want anything too crazy or just too complicated. So yeah, number 1 would just be to get the trial. 30 days, pretty simple, very easy to install. All right, so the second method would be to buy a license key or a copy of Sony Vegas off of their website. So the license keys depend and vary in price when it comes to what version you want to get, probably being a little bit more expensive when it comes to the more new versions, and I would probably say quite a bit cheaper when you go down the line of past versions. Like I said, this is completely up to you and what you want to do, but if you really think that you're going to use Sony Vegas and you really want this to be a long-term investment, like I said, this might be your best option. Also, with buying a key, I'm sure you get so many other resources from Vegas's lineup. For anybody who's really going into editing, either as like a field of study or just like as a career, this is probably your best option. Okay, so number 3 is a little bit different, but this is a way to get Sony Vegas full for free. So what I want you guys to do is go down into the description right now and check the link that will explain to you how to get Sony Vegas for free. Trust me, if you're someone like me who just wants to get Sony Vegas and use it, I would say this is probably the most common method of getting Sony Vegas. No need to thank me, just go down to the description, watch whatever you need. If you have any questions when it comes to any 3 versions of installing it, either feel free to ask me in the comments or just go on YouTube. I'm sure there's like 100 different methods or 100 different, you know, videos on how to install it. But yeah, it's pretty straightforward. I would say just watch the videos, make sure you're doing everything they tell you to do, and you should be good to go. Also, if you know what version you want and you just want to, you know, pick one of the 3 methods, look up how to get that version, you know, for free, the trial, whatever you need to do in YouTube, and you should probably find at least 20 videos telling you how to do it. All right, so I'm guessing it's been about 20 to 25 minutes. You just installed Sony Vegas and you opened it up for the first time. This is probably something similar to what you see. Now, if you're using a previous version of Vegas, it might not look dark themed like this. It might be brighter. I remember when I used Sony Vegas 13, it was a white theme. Don't be alarmed. Pretty much everything is the same. The rest of the video from here on out is just me going to explain what everything on this screen means. I'm not going to get into effects. I'm not going to get into how to do anything specific. I just want to show you guys, the beginners, how everything works. All right, so I remember as being a beginner, this interface was very, very, very confusing. There's a lot that you need to kind of understand, but I'm pretty much just going to simplify it for you right now and just tell you what you need to know. Kind of just skimming over Sony Vegas, I probably only use about 40% of what's actually built into here for my videos. There's a lot of stuff I haven't used yet. It's really just learning what everything means and just how everything pieces together. All right, so we're gonna start up here. So this little window over here is the master bus. This is for audio. I don't use it because, you know, I always have like earbuds in, or I'm always listening to like whatever the audio playback is. So I'm not really using this ever, but if you want to keep it, this will show you the levels, like the decibel levels, but I'm not going to use it. So what I would do is I'd go down here and I just click this X and that removes it. All right, so now there's like 3 big portions you have now. This one over here is like the media project area where you have like your project media, and it's gonna line up and you can like drag and drop it into this area, which is the track area. So right now I'm adding some video and audio tracks, and this is where you're gonna drag your clips. And here, I'll just show you an example. So pick up a clip and you're just gonna drag it down here, and now you have your first file dragged into a sequence. And then over here is your project preview. So this is pretty much just going to show you what your video looks like before you finally render it and export it and have it as a finished file. This is just pretty much going to give you a preview of what everything looks like. And depending on your computer, it might be slow when you play it back. So I would recommend, if you don't have a super powerful computer, I would say going from here, I have it at best full right now, I would say maybe go down to good, preview, or maybe even draft if you need it. If I go over here and I press space to play it, you can kind of see that it's a little choppy, but you can see that it's showing a preview. All right, cool. Like I said, these are the 3 main things you really want. If you wanted to insert more stuff into the windows, you could go to the window layout and organize the layout, do whatever you need to do, but I don't really worry about any of that stuff. This stuff on screen should be perfect. All right, cool. The next thing I'm gonna show you is just how to add effects really quickly. I'm not gonna really like show how to do anything specific, but I just wanna show you how to add stuff to your clips. Okay, so we're gonna start out with effects. So to add effects, we're gonna press this event effects button. And what you're gonna see is that this giant list of effects opens up. So your screen's probably gonna look a little different than mine. It's probably not gonna say all this BCC stuff because these are plugins that I installed outside of Sony Vegas. Same with these S underscores. You're probably gonna only see anything that says Vegas under it. And so with this big list, you can pretty much add whatever you want. So to add an effect, you just find whatever you're looking for. We're gonna add color corrector. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna click on it and then you're gonna press add over here and then press OK. Now you have this effect added to the clip and you can do whatever you want with it. As you can see, as I start changing stuff, I'll start changing stuff on our preview. So that's how all the effects work. Cool, so I'm just doing whatever with the effects. I'm editing, and When I press X and I press playback, now you can see that the preview is updated. It went from that little white screen to like now this little peach pale screen. So yeah, that's how you add effects. I'm gonna describe one more thing and then we're gonna get to the end of the video by showing you guys how you would render videos. So I just showed you guys how to add effects. I'm gonna show you guys something now called pan and crop. Okay, so I'm gonna switch out the clip. I'm gonna import a new clip from my files to show you guys actually what pan and crop does for those who don't know what it does. Also, before I do that, I just wanted to show one more tip. Usually I adjust the layout a little bit. So what I would do is I would take this, I would go right here and just drag this down. And as you can see, the preview gets a little bit bigger. I would drag this down just so it's a little bit smaller, and then I'd maybe drag this out just a little bit, just so it's covering most of that little bordered screen, just so you have a bigger preview. Okay, so we go back over here. We're gonna press the event pan and crop button, and you're gonna get a screen somewhat like this. So pan and crop pretty much lets you zoom into videos, tilt your screen, tilt your clip, do all this fun stuff to it. So for example, if I wanted to zoom in on this little Halo character I have here, I would just take this, I'd click the corner and then drag it in. And as you can see on the preview, it zooms in. You could do the same thing zooming out. And if you go up here, you can tilt it, you can do whatever you want. You can move the clip around, you can do all this really cool stuff. And then you can put it back to normal. Very handy. So I usually use pan and crop for like any shakes I have in my video, or just like anytime it zooms in or there's like transitions, I usually go to pan and crop because it's very useful, and it's just, you can do a lot with it. Say this is your edit, this giant clip here. Say you've added your pan and crop, say you've added your effects, and you're happy with what the preview looks like. What you're gonna do next is you're gonna go up here and click render as, and you're gonna be met by this screen. This screen is a giant list of ways you can export your video. And most of the time, if you have this thing called match project settings on, it's gonna give you a list of things that matches the output of the video. So this one, for example, is 1080p, 59.94, or we can call it 60 FPS. And I have a little custom template right here. So if you know what template you want, you're gonna click on it, and then before you export, you'd go down to folder, and if you're happy with where the destination of the render is, you can leave it be, or you can click where you want the video to render to. I usually put it on my desktop, and then you go down to the file name, name it whatever you want. I'm gonna call this tutorial. Press save, and now you're ready to render. All right, so now when you click render, you're gonna see that it's gonna have this little timeline with this little percentage thing. This is pretty much telling you what percentage of the render is done. Also, depending on whatever's in your PC for like hardware or your laptop, that's what's gonna really dictate how long it takes for you to render your videos. Also stuff like, you know, how long your video is, how many effects you have in it, just like stuff like that. It's gonna change how long your video is gonna render. Sometimes I have videos that render that take me like 2 minutes. Sometimes I have videos that take me half an hour to render. It really depends. Awesome, so you see here that we're done. It says 100%, and you can see that it's not doing any more work in the preview. So you have three options. You can open it, view the file like that. Or you could close it like it just did. But yeah, that's pretty much just how you render a video. And yeah, like I said, Sony Vegas, it's not too hard to use. It might be a little weird to get used to at first, but after using it for just like a year or so, I was very used to it, and I really knew how to navigate around it. I would say if you guys are looking to up your editing game or just really get into editing as general, Sony Vegas is a perfect software to start at, because it's very easy to use, just because you have so many effects right out of the gate. You have so many things you can do to just enhance your videos. So yeah, I'm just gonna have this be the video today. I'm definitely planning on making more Sony Vegas tutorials in the future. Like I said, if you guys really like this video, please leave a like, leave a comment, and tell me what you guys want to see in the future. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.